We all have questions, right? We all have questions that we need answers to. We all have things that we think about and we wonder, am I doing this the right way? Am I approaching this in the right manner? Is this going to get me the results that I need, right? Am I going to be able to hit my goal by doing it this way? So because we all have questions and a lot of us don't have the answers, I like to come to you guys with some Q&A sessions and put in some questions that members and subscribers send me so that I can give them advice in front of you because you might also have this type of question. Also, as you're watching this Q&A session, do me a favor, give your opinions and advice to those who have these questions because I do have a lot of the answers, but someone may take your viewpoint or your experience and say, man, I want to do it that way. I think I can add this to my regimen or my program and it can really work out for me. So this is Q&A. I am Coach Mark. This is Transformation Station. Let's get to it. All right. So Rachel from Beckley, West Virginia. I sleep around 7 hours every night, but I still wake up exhausted and feel worn out by the afternoon. I exercise 4 days a week and eat pretty well. What could I be missing that's affecting my recovery? I sleep around 7 hours a night, but still wake up exhausted. I feel worn out by afternoon. I exercise 4 days a week and I eat pretty well. What could I be missing that's affecting my recovery? Well, I have a couple questions for you, Rachel, but you didn't answer those, and we're going to try to get through it together. All right. So, Rachel, do you have recovery days? Right. So when you work out 4 days a week, that's great. Are the other days off? Are they just days off or recovery days? Intentional recovery days, right? They could be active recovery days. They could be sedentary recovery days, but are they intentional? And what I mean by intentional, are you intentionally stretching? Okay. Are you intentionally taking light walks throughout the day? Are you intentionally rehydrating yourself? Are you intentionally getting in a ton of protein, maybe a ton of fiber, staying on track with your calories so that you can recover and be ready for the next day of training? So, if you don't know the answers to those questions, you need to start tracking and being intentional, like planning your recovery days. And that doesn't mean it has to be as busy as your training days, but it has to be a little bit structured. So, what we'll do is we'll put our body through these intense workouts, and they'll be timed, they'll be scheduled. You'll have certain foods that you eat surrounding these workouts. Everything's on point on Monday, Tuesday. And we get to Wednesday and we just let our hair down. I'm going to eat what I want today. I'm not going to focus on sleep too much. If I walk, I walk. If I hydrate, I hydrate. And guys, that is a way to break your rhythm. Okay. So we need to make sure we're treating our recovery days just like we treat our training days. And that means have a schedule, have a hydration goal, have a calorie goal. A lot of times I'm seeing that we're under eating on our recovery days, Rachel. We're under eating. So if you're in a calorie deficit and you've been in a calorie deficit for 2, 3 days and you've had intense workouts, your body is glycogen depleted, just to name one of many minerals and vitamins that we need, right? So if you're glycogen depleted and on your rest day, you're not making sure to replace those glycogen stores by consuming carbs from whole food sources, then you're not going to have the energy you need to perform come Thursday, Friday. Now, let's attack the sleep. You said you sleep around 7 hours a night. I know what that means, sweetie. I know sometimes it's 6. I know sometimes it's 6.5. Sometimes it's 7.5, right? But when we say around 7, we don't mean 7 every night. So there's a couple factors here. We want to get the same amount of sleep every night as much as we can. And guys, I understand we live in this capitalist society, and Rachel, we got to be busy. We got to work. We got to get it done. But I am telling you, the body, the human body was designed to rest and get a full night's rest every evening. Did you ever notice that when we have babies or we have young kids, we really don't need an alarm clock for them, right? They wake up when their body is done recovering and resting. You ever notice, Rachel, on a weekend, if you sleep late, you just wake up automatically when your body's done recovering and resting. So I'm not saying you can do that every night because obviously that's a lot. But what we want to make sure we do is get our circadian rhythm in line, right? We want to have that bedtime at the same time every night. We want to have our wake up time at the same time. And if 7 hours a night have not been doing it for you, sweetie, you might need to extend it to 8, because if we add up 7 over 7 days, that's 49 hours of sleep. You add an hour to that, now we're at 56. 56 versus 49 over a week's time is a big change. And again, what I hear from a lot of you when you come to me for coaching is that your bedtimes are all over the place. Oh, Marc, I just go to sleep when I'm tired. Well, no wonder you're getting tired in the afternoon. Because you're waiting, and a lot of times we're tired, but we don't go right to sleep as soon as we start feeling tired. We stay up, we watch our shows, we watch sports, we talk on the phone, we drink a little bit of alcohol, then we go to bed. So I would say attack the sleep. Let's try to get more than 7 hours of sleep. Rachel, you're not a male, I don't think. I think you're a female. And research has shown that females need more sleep than males. Okay, especially when you're training hard. And just understand something. If you were getting 7 hours of sleep before you started exercising and training 4 days a week, you need more now. You're putting your body through more stress. So you need more rest. All right. Hope that helped you out a little bit, but great question, Rachel. I appreciate you. Now, Tyler from Mountain Home, Arkansas. Haven't heard of that before. Mountain Home, Arkansas. Some people tell me I need at least one full rest day every week, but I actually enjoy being very active every single day. Is walking or light cardio okay on recovery days, or should I really be doing absolutely nothing? Is walking or light cardio on recovery days okay, or should I actually be doing absolutely nothing? Now, Tyler, there are some people that say you should do absolutely nothing, that you should give your CNS a break, that you should give your brain a break, that you should give your feet, your circulatory system a break from all the intense work. That is one way to attack it. What I've seen with coaching many, many people from all cultures, races, sizes, is that having light activity on our recovery days keeps us focused, keeps us consistent, keeps us secure within our progress, right? Keeps us focused on our goal, keeps us going, keeps that circulation moving, keeps the glucose and the amino acids flowing through our bloodstream the way we want them to. I love light activity on those recovery days. So, what is light activity, sir? You said it right. Walking. Walking is the universal exercise that all of us are pretty good at, and we can perform at a moment's notice. You don't need you. It's nice if you stretch, right? But you don't necessarily need a long stretch period, a long warm up. You don't need special equipment. You don't need a certain place. You can walk at work. You can walk in the mall. You can walk outside in your driveway, in your yard. Doesn't matter. It's a great way to still be lightly active on your recovery days. Also stretching. Now, you don't need to do dynamic stretching, and that is when we do some explosive and some fast twitch movements to get us ready for our workout, right? We're talking static stretching. So we're talking stretch where we touch our toes and hold it for 10 seconds or 30 seconds or a minute even, okay? That is static stretching. So having some really good static stretching periods is really, really effective on your recovery days because it helps us deal with the lactate acid that is built up in our muscles from training. Okay. And so also, you know, pulling up a nice yoga session on YouTube, bro, putting it on your phone or putting it on your TV and just following along. You may not be able to perform all the movements and all the positions that these people are in because they're very experienced, but it will start to pay dividends if you're doing it on a consistent basis. It doesn't have to be power yoga. It doesn't have to be intense, but doing some type of activity really helps out on recovery days, bro. That's what I found. So Tyler, I think you have the right idea. Even if you're doing cardio, sometimes on a recovery day, I may run a mile, but that's not a lot for me. A lot of times I run 3.2 miles just on a training day. So me running 1 mile is 1/3, and I don't go for time. So I'm not rushing through this run. I'm literally jogging at a pace that I can hold a conversation as well. All right. So great question, Tyler. Recovery is very important, guys. If we don't structure our recovery days correctly, we will see that we're not ready to go when it's time to get back to our training, right? And we want to be at 100% when we get back to our training days. That's what a recovery day is for, okay? Great question, though. Jessica from Paris, Tennessee. I stay motivated Monday through Thursday, but every weekend I fall back into old habits with takeout, desserts, and skipping workouts. By Monday, I feel like I'm starting over. How do I finally break that cycle? So Jessica's telling us that every Monday through Thursday, she's focused. But on the weekends, she falls off. She eats desserts, she gets takeout, she's skipping workouts. Every Monday she starts over. So what should she do to break that cycle? Jessica, the first thing you have to do is realize that everyone has gone through this at some point in their lives. If you're 30, 40, 50 years old, you've gone through this at some point where you have these great 4-day blocks and then you get to the last 3 days of the week and you kill it and you kill your progress, right? So we've all been there, Jessica. You're not alone, okay? Now, what I had to start doing for myself personally, and what I coach my clients to do as well, is start treating your Fridays like Monday. Let's just attack your Fridays. Your Fridays should be getting treated like Mondays as much as humanly possible. And I get it. I get it. Friday is the day that people want to go out to lunch. That's the day that you take off work. That's a day that nobody goes to the gym. That's the day everyone wants to go out to eat. That's when you drink. I get it. I get it. But what you'll start finding is when you treat your Mondays like Fridays, you start realizing a lot of these things you can either push off till Saturday or that you don't really need to do at all. Meaning like, oh, my coworkers all go out to lunch on Fridays. It's great, right? But if you're treating it like a Monday, what would you do if you went out to lunch on a Monday? You would look at the menu before you got to the restaurant, not when you got there and you smelled all the great food, right? You would look at the menu at your desk and you would pick out a couple healthy options. And then when you get to the restaurant, you would order off of the healthy side of the menu, right? The low carb side of the menu to stay in line because you know you still have another maybe 1 or 2 meals to eat and you don't want to mess it up at lunch. Okay? That's what you would do on a Monday. So do that on Friday. When you start taking care of your Fridays, that keeps the momentum going from Thursday. Now you're more likely to work out Friday night. And that's another thing. There's activities, there's cookouts. Man, it's summertime. There's things to do, there's events. Getting in a late afternoon or evening workout on Fridays, guys, no matter what you're going to do afterward. So just because you're going to go hang out with your friends and have a game night and you're going to be drinking and you're going to be eating some food you wouldn't normally eat, that doesn't mean that your workout won't be effective. But what happens is when you take the time to get in some type of workout, whether it's a walk, a jog, a jump rope session, a strength training session, or I just did some air squats in my backyard. When you do that, you're more mindful of what you consume when you get with those people later. You're more mindful. You also have more confidence in knowing, oh, I didn't just throw this whole day in the tank. I ate well for lunch. I ate pretty well for dinner, right? You're going to fuel yourself differently for dinner if you're going to have some activity after dinner before you go to the event. You're going to feel a lot better for yourself and you're going to be a lot more mindful of how much you drink even. Oh man, I had 3 drinks already. I think that's my limit. Whereas if you had just given up on Friday, oh, you're going to drink a lot more. You're more likely to say, you know what, I'm going to hang out with my friends, but I'm going to come home by 12 and make sure I get into bed because I want to wake up on Saturday and work out. Now, let's attack your Saturday. Because you have a good Friday and a pretty good Friday evening, even if you hang out and eat some bad foods, you're going to start your Saturday better. You're going to go to bed earlier. You're going to wake up earlier. You're going to get in some activity on Saturday mornings. Saturday morning, when you have activity built into your Saturday morning, you are 10 times more likely to eat well that day, even if you go out to eat. Even if you're tired of eating whatever you meal prepped all week, I get it. You're going to try some new things. You're going to pick healthier options because you're in a healthy mindset because you paid attention to your health this morning. But again, that rolls off of your Friday night. So now, even if we throw caution to the wind by Saturday afternoon, when we're at the pool, when we're at the beach, when we're at the event, when we're at the festival, at least we've now had 5.5 days out of 7 that we were productive. And if you let your hair down Saturday, Sunday, I get it, man. We all got to have breaks. And I'm in favor of the 24 to 36 hours of just kind of doing what you want to do, right? But we can't have it be 72 hours. That's a big difference. And what'll happen is week after week, month after month, right? And so we see ourselves not getting to our goal and not making the progress that we should. So I would suggest that you have a Friday that's treated like a Monday I would suggest that you plan more of your events and outings on Saturday. I would suggest that you stay focused on Friday evening so that you can start out with activity on Saturday morning. And that activity might be going somewhere by yourself with a tennis racket and a tennis ball and playing tennis up against a wall by yourself. Walking by yourself, taking a bike ride by yourself. But when you have activity built into your Saturday morning, you're a lot more likely to eat a healthy meal to start out your Saturday. And then when you get to midday, even if you start saying, F it, I'm going to do what I want, the damage is nowhere near severe, and you don't break a ton of momentum with 36 hours, but you can with 72. All right, that was a great question though, Jessica, and we've all been through that, so you're not alone. All right, now Daniel from Ellensburg, Washington. I've started and stopped my fitness journey more times than I can count. I always go all in for about 3 weeks, then life gets busy and I disappear. How do I become someone who stays consistent instead of always starting over? So Daniel started and stopped that fitness journey more times than he can count. Daniel, you're not alone, all right? So he starts out, he goes good for about 21 days, and then life gets busy and he disappears, all right? So how can he become the guy who doesn't disappear after that third week and he can keep it going, all right? Daniel, I will start the same way I started with the previous young lady. Listen, brother, you are amongst friends. You are amongst community, homie. We all have been through that period of time in life where we start and we stop. We start and we stop. We start and we stop. I've been there a million times, bro. I promise you that. What I've had to realize is, number one, when I pick something fun, a fun activity, and I mean fun, swimming, jet skiing, biking, hiking, right? Taking my dog out, swimming with my dog, whatever it is that I do. If it's fun and it's active, I schedule that a couple times a week. A couple times. For me, it's basketball. I'm going to go play at least twice a week. At least twice a week. Bro, if I play basketball twice a week, I can never have a week where I didn't get in some type of cardiovascular training, some type of HIIT training, right? Jumping up and down, some type of plyometric work, right? There's all types of plyo movements that we do within a basketball game. I know that if I play basketball twice a week, I'm going to get that work even those 2 days. So you have to schedule fun activities or a recreational sport at least twice a week. However you need to do it. Whatever you need to do. In the morning, in the afternoon, for lunch, on the weekends, whatever. Okay? That will carry you through, because what's happening is, Daniel, you get bored easily with your program. It isn't so much that you get too busy, because we make time for the things that we want to do, not for the things we have to do, for the things we want to do. And when you want to play a sport, when you want to go play pickleball, when you want to go throw the frisbee with your dog, when you want to go throw the football with your homie down the street, you'll go do it. You'll go do it every time. All right? So what's happening is you're getting bored with your training regimen. Also, I would ask you this: during that 3 weeks, you probably don't have rest days. You know why? Because you take off for a couple months at a time. I know how it goes, brother. So you go balls to the wall. Every day I'm at the gym, 3 hours. And you don't have rest days. And so you get burnt out after 3 weeks. You get burnt out. All right? So I would incorporate some rest days in there, man. Maybe you work out every other day. Bro, trust me. Every other day is 15 days in a month. There are people who see amazing progress working out 2 days a week, especially if the nutrition is on point. Especially if the nutrition is on point, brother. I promise you that. Because one thing you're not going to do, you're not going to spend time tracking your food. You're not going to spend time counting calories and protein and fiber, but then skipping workouts. What I've seen is, if someone can stay on track with their nutrition, they can make themselves be active. We try to do it the other way around, Daniel. We try to be super active and then start counting our calories as we go. And, oh, I'm just going to eat healthy, Mark. Oh, I try to make sure I get water in. No. When we get super locked in on tracking our nutrition, our hydration, our macros, bro, it's kind of easy to get there and work out. Okay? So you'll start to see progress just from that. So I would suggest working out every other day. Find a very fun activity that you can perform twice a week. right? Something that you love to do, so that at least ensures that twice a week you're going to go. I would also start tracking my nutrition and being real intentional about that. Because, bro, if you're falling off of your workouts after 3 weeks, you're not tracking your nutrition, because they kind of go hand in hand. I'll be honest with you, right? One takes care of the other. I would also get into a little bit of fasting, bro. A little bit. Maybe one day a week you skip breakfast or something like that. 2 days a week you skip breakfast. And the reason why I say that is that it builds that discipline, bro. And one thing I do know, if you build the discipline, if you have enough discipline to fast a little bit, you have enough discipline to stay on your workout. You do. And then again, if you're tracking, if you're counting the added sugar that you're getting in, bro, if you're counting your fiber, that discipline that you have to use to complete that every day is the same discipline that you need to get to that gym. And like I said, every other day. Let's just try that for 30 days, bro. Something tells me you're not gonna get burnt out after 3 weeks, and you're gonna see the same you're gonna see the same momentum towards your goal. I know you think every day is gonna get you there faster, but it doesn't really happen that way. I just gotta be honest with you, bro. Any more than 3 times a week, you're not seeing it's not an exponential amount of progress. All right. So that was a great question, Daniel. And come back to me in 30 days. Let me know how that goes. All right. Now, this has been your guy, Coach Mark. This is Transformation Station. We do a little Q&A, man. I hope I gave you guys some answers. I'll see you guys next time.